Hello and welcome back to IT Security Labs. And on this channel, I do make videos like this where I show you how I'm learning IT security and also to learn how to hack machines like this one that we have today. Today we're going to be working on Optimum. It's a HackTheBox machine. And if you're not familiar with HackTheBox, it's a platform where you can get vulnerable virtual machines. Let me just show you quick. There's all these virtual machines that are vulnerable, and today we'll be exploiting this one called Optimum. And you go out there, you try to find the vulnerabilities, find the flags, and become root pretty much. So you are hacking these machines on a safe environment. And in this channel, I'm actually making a series of videos, and this is video number 22, where I'll be showing you how I've been learning and progressing. And the goal for me is to learn as much as I can while I'll also share the knowledge with you. So today's machine is called Optimum, like I said. It's a Windows machine and it's an easy one with 20 points. I also get points that I'll get to apply towards my CISSP continued education points. So this is awesome for me. This is a win-win for everybody. So without wasting time, let's go ahead and start in here. First thing that I do is I start with a ping. The machine is 10.10.10.8, I think. As you can see, I can ping. All right, so now we're going to nmap. So do our nmap, negative SC for default scripts, and negative SV. So we can find the versions for everything, and we're going to 10.10.10.8. You'll notice that I'm not even outputting to a file because this is an easy machine. I expect it to be done very quickly. If you haven't subscribed, this is where I ask that you subscribe to my channel, because if you're interested in learning and you like this type of material, it will be helpful for you to just subscribe so this content can be distributed to more people. That's what YouTube does nowadays. All right, so we do have port 80 open. And it looks like that's the only port that is there, but we do see that we have an HTTP file server version here. You can even run further scans here for all the ports. I did that just to make sure I'm not missing anything. You scan all the ports and make sure that you are seeing everything. But before I do that with us, let's go and find out what's on port 80. And since this is an easy machine, I don't expect it to be too difficult or to have any UDP ports that might be hiding. So I'm just launching Firefox here. Let's go to port 80, 10.10.10.8. See what's there. All right. So as you can see, we do have a file server like we thought. But the interesting part is we have the version that they also showed us over there. And we have uptime of 10 minutes. All right, so this is interesting. We can search for folders. Let's see what. Okay, let's not archive. Get list. We're just enumerating and finding out what's going on with this server. Let's see if we get more information here. But while this is loading, let's also find out more information about this version. Wow, what is that? Oh, look at that. The first result is an exploit. So right away we know that we can use a publicly available exploit and try to get into this one. HP 2.3, all right. Remote command execution. All right, we've done some of these before, so this should not be that hard. And all right, so this is a Python script, and it explains here the usage is exploit pi, target IP address, target port. All right. The web server needs to be hosting netcat. All right. And we might have to run it multiple times. So you have to read these exploits to understand this is a publicly available exploit that somebody has put out there. And looks like we need to change this IP address. The port we can leave the same. But yeah, let's try this exploit and see if we can get in. Let me see if I can edit it. Gedit. I'm trying to see if this will be easier than VI. Give me something. Yes. So with my gedit, I know I need to change certain things here. IP address, local IP address. Local port is called local port. Okay, what does local IP address mean? Alright, so for IP address, it's asking for local IP address, which is my IP address. And I can just come in here and do an IPA. I want the IP address of the tunnel. So it's 10.10.10.1431. That's exactly what I need in here. Port, I'm going to leave it the same. Don't change anything here. And save. Alright. Now that we got that one out of the way, time to work with this, time to execute this exploit. And it does tell us everything that we need. We need netcat running, it says. And we might need to run it multiple times. So the web server needs to be running netcat.exe. So somehow I need to get that to the web server, or at least it needs to be running there. Then I can run my Python script using this usage, Python exploit py, and my target port numbers. Okay, so let's. All right, so since this Python script relies on netcat, like they said here, where it needs to have netcat somehow, it needs to download. Instead of hosting it on our victim machine because we don't have access to it, we can just host it here. So let's do a find nc.exe. That's our netcat. Okay, maybe let's use locate nc.exe. I'm just trying to find where this netcat is. Alright, so let's just copy it right here. I'm copying netcat here because come on, I want it here. I'm gonna do an ls. I now have my netcat. Where is it? There it is, nc.exe. Alright, so we have netcat that we can host, and it says it needs to be hosted on an HTTP server. Okay, HTTP, my IP. So it's in the home directory like that. That's exactly where we are. So what we do now is let's run our HTTP server here. And the one that I like to use is the Python one. So Python -m. This is my Python simple HTTP server. Simple. There we go. And they said we need to be running it on port 80 from here. Alright, so now we should be able to. Alright, we are serving our netcat. Everything looks good for us. So all I did is just read what this is asking for. It wants me to host this application, the netcat, on port 80 from on my attacker machine, which is my Kali, and I just did that. And also I modified the IP address, which is my local IP address. We did that. Then next, we go to usage. I need to run that Python exploit.py target IP address, target port, which is exactly what we need to do. So ls So we type Python, and instead of saying exploit.py, we have 39161.py. My target IP address is 10.10.10, yeah, .10.8, and I'm targeting it on port 80. That's exactly what this exploit is asking us to do. And let's see if we can get there. Wait, something is not right. Oh, wait. Oh, wait a second. I need to start listening. I need to start a listener. I need to start a listener so I can catch my shell. So the way we do this is nc negative lvnp, and we're listening on port 443. And this port, we found it in the exploit code here, where we left it to default. All right. Now let's go back and see what happens. Okay, you see, my script already tried to download my netcat. Okay, I might have to rerun my Python again. Again, it says Python. Python 3961.py and port 8. It says target IP address 10.10.10.8, and you want target port, which is port 80. Let's do it one more time. Bam. Now we should get a shell, and sure enough, we did. So this is way too easy, guys. That was just how we do that. And we know that we are already this user cost us. So if we do it there here, we should see our user.text. There we go. So I'm going to copy this to my HackTheBox account, because I'm going to need this so I can get credit for my CISSP. So I'm going to open this text file, copy it, and I'll be back. All right, so now that we're in here, in Windows, there is a command called systeminfo. And what this does is to tell us information about the system. And we can use this information with a tool in Kali Linux called Windows Exploit Suggester to see what we can, to see if we have any vulnerabilities. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy all this information, and then come back to my Kali Linux here, and I'm going to create a file called systeminfo.txt. Can I do this? Instead of vi, can I do a gedit? Because I think it's easier. Yes. So now that we're in here, there is all the information that we found. And save. Alright, so it looks like I don't have Windows Exploit Suggester, so I can do a git clone. There. Alright, so let's go ahead and copy from here. py, and I want to copy it right here. ls, there it is, Windows Exploit Suggester. And what we do is we now have Windows Exploit Suggester. We have our result from systeminfo.txt, and But before we do that, let's just update Windows Exploit Suggester here. I think if you do dash update, it'll give us the latest updates. So let's let this one run. Wow, this one is quick. So the GitHub page that I copied it from is close to up to date because there is no more interesting updates there. Okay, now that it's updated, let's go ahead and run it. In fact, before we run it, this is a page for Windows Exploit Suggester. And we just did the update.py. But then it says install the dependencies, these. So let's just go ahead and do everything that they are talking about. Except, I think my database changed. See, mine is 2021-10 and theirs is 2014. So what I need to do is I need to change this. All right, so we just need to modify this right here with our information. Let's just do that. Let's go get our text editor here, and I'll show you how I do it. So we have Windows Exploit Suggester.py. My database changed. It says 2014, whatever this thing here is. We don't want it. We want to use ours. All right. System info is not this file. We want our own file. System info.txt. All right, now that we have the right stuff, let's go ahead and run it. That's how you run Windows Exploit Suggester. So let's copy that. Come here, let's clear. Let's call Python Windows Exploit Suggester text. Database file detected as Excel. All right, I think I jumped the gun. I need to install this. All right, let's try to. All right, now if you run Windows Exploit Suggester, let's see if it works. All right, looks like we're going, and it's done. We see a lot of vulnerabilities. We need to go through and see which one are interesting, which ones to ignore. But I mean, there is a ton. Let's start from the top here. Kernel mode drivers, security update for Windows, security updates, and here they are. There's a whole ton of them. All right, so now that we get a lot of noise here, what are we looking for? I'm looking for exploits that match my current version of Windows, and that also exists on ExploitDB, which most of these do. This one I wouldn't waste a lot of time on it. I trust the ExploitDB, and Windows Server 2012 and Windows 8.1 are almost the same, so I can choose this one or even this one. Kernel mode drivers. There's an SMB server here. So there's a lot of results here. We just need to pick one, but this one that says graphics component, I wouldn't worry about that. All right, let's start from the top here and see what we can find. And we can start with this one, but wait, how do I? Denial of service, I really don't care about that. But this one says privilege escalation 2. All right, let's go with something that's more obvious. This one, integer overflow, what is that? But this one says Windows 8.1, and I know that that matches Windows Server 2012. So let's try this one. If this one doesn't work, we'll go back to this one. So let's search for this one in search exploit. So open a new tab here. I think either way it will work. It doesn't really matter which one we use. I don't think. This is an integer overflow. Is that a buffer overflow? All right, I don't like this one. No, I don't want this one. I'm looking for one that is a public exploit. That's most likely a Python script or something that I can easily just manipulate and not waste a lot of time. All right, now that we have our results here from Windows Exploit Suggester, I mean, there's a lot of them here. And you can see that we have, this is a denial of service. We don't want that. This is an integer overflow. This one is from exploit.db, so it's this one. So let's see. I tried the first one. I ran into some problems with this one. So I'm just going to go to the second one. And I just, as long as there's an exploit.db for it, I'll go and see what I can find. But if I just open this link to go to exploit.db, because I like to be able to just read from here exactly what this does. It's explaining there. Exploit that we're going to be using from our results. Just go ahead and download it. Click download here. And once you download it, it will be in your downloads folder. So you can do a cat. That is the name that it will be saved under. And once you download, you see that the source is this location. But instead of us compiling this .c code, we can just copy this exe file. And once we copy this executable file, we need to get it to our victim machine. And that's all we need to do, is copy this executable file, get it to our victim machine, and run it. Because that's what the GitHub page would actually say. No. All right, let's save the file. All right, so now that we have, let's see if we do an ls. Now we have this file here. Let's just copy that from there to our home page. So we are in our downloads. This is the executable that we want. Make sure that we have stuff in it. Okay, it says 0 bytes, so that's a huge red flag. So instead, I've ran into this and I'm still not sure why it's saying 0 there. So that means it won't work. All right. So what I need to do is, let me use wget instead and get it to the machine. Wget, give q, ls 41020.exe. Let's see how big that is. You see my properties here. See, now I do have the size. So If you know what I'm doing wrong here, let me know. Now once I use wget, I actually have a file with contents in it. If I just downloaded it directly from the browser, I get zero bytes. All right, so now that is done. To get into our Windows machine, we're going to be using PowerShell, and here's a blog post that I follow, and I'm just going to be using this command here, where you run PowerShell.exe, use wget, go to my local HTTP server that I'm running, and I'm outputting to a file. I'm already running an HTTP server here, simple HTTP using Python. So all I need to do now is run the command PowerShell.exe wget, come to my machine, and this time I'm not using bfil, I'm using the actual name for the I'm using the actual name of the executable. So 41020.exe. I want to output it to the same name, actually, in the same folder. 41020. It doesn't really matter, but for consistency, I want it to be the same. So that's the command that we're doing. It will output this in whatever folder that we are running in. So if I go to my victim machine and run that command, I'll be copying the executable to the victim machine, and this should do it. So now I can do dir, and as you can see, there we go. We now have 4120.exe, and according to the exploit, if I just run this, I should be root. Let's see what happens. All right, see users. Okay, this is where I am, but say who am I? System, NT authority. So as you can see, guys, I'm now root, and this is all I needed to do to actually get to root on this machine. This was a simple machine where we used 2 exploits. I hope I showed you how to deal with exploits. I'm getting better every single day, and if you like this content, make sure to subscribe to my channel, like these videos, and I'm going to grab my flag, put it in the HackTheBox now, and I'll be getting credit for my CISSP, and I'm also getting ready for the OSCP. So if you like this type of content, remember to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next wonderful video. Thanks for watching.